So I've been walking up this mountain, heading up to the Hermitage, which was a place that was previously completely covered in the forest like this is. But somebody generously offered to give it to Francis, and surprisingly he accepted. He didn't stay there permanently, and when he slept, it was on rock with a rock pillow. But he stayed there sometimes and would sleep and pray, and he was quite often up there. Let's have a look. So Francis believed that we shouldn't own anything, and he read that in the Bible. Jesus said, if you follow me, you should give up everything, and Francis took that literally. It was quite a challenge for me. Could I give up everything? Francis says your energy, your money and your time is wasted when you own things. You spend more on them as you look after them. It's a real challenge for me. He believed that when you don't own things, you have more freedom. Your mind isn't occupied by those things, and you're more able to go out and do good things. And I recognise that. As I'm travelling now, I'm carrying a much lighter bag. I have few possessions and less things to worry about. At home, I have lots of odd possessions and things that I do worry myself about. It's a relief to not have to. Interesting. Finally arrived. So just over here is where Francis would sleep at night with a rock for a pillow. So I think it took me, I left at about 10ish and arrived at around about 11:30, thereabouts. So I ambled my way up that path and got to the top, and it is so quiet here. There's just one building. There's not anything else up here. And there are not a lot of people either. I mean, there are groups here, a school group and other different people, but they're all different ages, and some are walking slowly with walking sticks, and others are ambling up and down the rocks and up and down paths. But it's very peaceful. I can imagine that Francis didn't spend a lot of time inside the Hermitage. I imagine he was outside singing and praying and thinking. And you know, he was so artistic. He loved expressing himself with drama. And I'm going to talk a bit about that later too. So we're looking at 800 years ago, and there were so many problems in society, lots of little wars and skirmishes. People were very sick. They were being taxed too much, and because the land was trying to be taken in Assisi and elsewhere, there was so much going on, and the church wasn't helping. In fact, the church was joining in on the wars, calling them holy wars. And it was just higgledy-piggledy, and people just thought, well, what's the point in church? The church can see that we're suffering. Where's God? Is there any point in this? Can God see me? But then Francis did something differently. He used theatre. He was very visual in the way he enacted his story, the way he lived his life so simply, the way he would help people here and there. People started to notice, and they wanted to follow his way of life. They wanted to give up their things and to follow the way that he was living, and more people joined him. And here at the Hermitage itself is a little way away from where I am now, but there are lots of little caves all the way around the outside. You can see how many people had come to join him. This is one of the small caves. They say that Brother Andrew, he was a follower of Jesus and a priest, and he started to follow Francis's way of life, gave up everything and looked after other people. It's a tiny little cave. Well, nearly there. I've come here many times, and usually I catch a taxi up, walk around a bit, and then catch a taxi back. One time I caught a taxi up, walked around a bit, and then walked down. But this time I walked all the way up and the long way, walked around for ages, really explored, and then walked back down by the road, and I'm nearly there. I'd say all up it's been around about 5 hours. I'm exhausted, but I'm really proud of myself. So next, I'm going to treat myself.